Well, welcome back everybody, it's Nicola Cairncross, and today I'm going to talk to you about how ChatGPT and other AI tools could help you with your podcast marketing, which rounds up the series of how ChatGPT can help you with your business marketing, how it can help you with your book marketing, and now how it can help you with your podcast marketing. And I think you're going to be absolutely blown away by what I show you today, but you've got to stay to the very end, because at the very end I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't get too hooked on using AI tools for your marketing. And it's something that's just come out today, and it's a bit of a shocker, so do hang around to the end. But in the meantime, I'm going to show you how you can use AI, not ChatGPT, to help you with your podcast marketing. And it's going to be really exciting, because I've just been lining up all my podcast episodes to go out on Substack. And it's a bit of a job to do it, because I've had to separate out the audio from all the video, then put it through Ophonic, and then upload it with a picture and a description, which I've already written for YouTube, to be fair. I can see how I can boost each episode as I upload it dramatically. So if you've got a podcast yourself, you'll really want to pay attention during this episode. Okay, well, here we go. So I picked up on this new use of ChatGPT AI for marketing by, I was put onto it by Dan Norris, who is the chap who wrote 7 Day Startup, which is where I started my clicks and leads, was a Facebook ads agency in those days. And I followed his book, 7 Day Startup. He's got a really fascinating story. Go and check him out at dannorris.me. And he did a blog post recently about how he's now no longer the MD of his second successful startup, which was Black Hops Brewery in Australia. He's still a shareholder, major shareholder, but he's just now looking to see what he's going to do with the rest of his life. So he's mucking about with loads of different things. And he tried a ChatGPT content amplification experiment around his podcast, which alerted me to a couple of things that I wanted to show you. Because obviously I have a podcast. I have a Clicks and Leads podcast. There's also the Own It podcast. So I'm always interested to know how to amplify your content, especially when it's a video or a podcast, because that's the easiest kind of content to create. I find mostly, but I don't do as much with it as I should. And I think Dan thinks the same about his podcast. He basically did this experiment, but he sent out a newsletter afterwards saying, okay, so while that experiment failed, I did come across a couple of great things afterwards. So let me tell you about them, because I've been experimenting with them too. The first one is Pod Squeeze, and basically what you do with this one is you upload an episode of your podcast and you wait a little while, and then you come back and it's done it, and you've got all this content. Now this is free at the moment. You get a certain amount of hours, no, minutes, I think, a certain number of minutes or hours free, and then you can either buy tokens or you can get a subscription, a monthly or a yearly one, depending on how much you're going to use it. But let's have a look and see what it made of one of my podcast episodes, Predictable Revenue. Well, it made a full transcription for free. Now, it did say my name was Nicola Cairncross, so that's quite a common mistake. You can actually see more, and then you can tune it. So it got Clicks and Leads Academy right. It's mainly on names it gets things wrong. So what you do is you go down here, and it's done a transcription. So let's see if we can do something with it. Copy to clipboard. I really want to tune it. Doesn't seem to be a tune option, but I'll copy that to my clipboard anyway, and then pop it onto let's move that out of the way. Name it and keep it. And then what I'm going to do is I could run it through ChatGPT to get rid of the speaker 1, speaker 2, and timings and things like that. Okay, let's go back and see what else it's done. Show notes. See more and tune. Okay, so this is good. It's done a sort of summary of the whole thing from the recording, and I can tune my results. So it's got my name right. I don't need to worry about that. So this is the kind of thing I could put into YouTube, or I could put it into the podcast show notes as well. Pretty useful if you produce an audio at the same time as you produce your video, because you can immediately drop it in here and have it working in the background, so that you could actually use it when you go to upload to YouTube. So that's pretty useful. Let's close that down and see what else we've got. Timestamps. Let's have a look at that. Now, okay, so this is interesting because we think that YouTube rewards you if you put timestamps in. Now, as it happens, this particular video does have a timestamp that I did, and not so much detail as that. Now, the only thing is, do we need to put the timestamps at the beginning, I wonder? So let's go down there and say, use the AI to tweak the text to your liking. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to, can you move the actual timestamps bracket look like this, close bracket, to the beginning of the line each time. Now let's see how good that instruction is, or prompt as it's known. There we go, look at that. That's much more like it. So I'd be much happier uploading that to YouTube, because I think that's more, it's easy for the YouTube algorithm to actually realize that you're dropping in timestamps, and it will give you preferential placement apparently. So that's pretty good. What else can we do? In fact, let's just copy that, accept changes, and go back to tweet, see more on tweet. Right, so let's have a look at what it's doing here. So it's created a number of tweets from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tweets. So there you go, you've got a week's worth of tweets to be sharing that episode. So that's pretty good too. Let's copy those. Suggested titles, links and mentions. Let's see what it's got there. Oh, so it's specific things where I've mentioned a book, or not absolutely sure how useful that would be. Short posts. So here it's writing a short post for you to use in, say, for example, LinkedIn. I mean, this is absolutely brilliant when you think about it, isn't it? Just the work that it's saving, and it's writing you a little newsletter, summing it all up, saying, come and have a listen. So all of this is really good, because it's really dull for you to do it, especially after having created an episode. And but it's really good for your search engine optimization to have something like this on a blog post, for example. And I use Substack for my newsletter, so that would be really good for me to have a longer description, because for SEO purposes that would be much more powerful than the kind of short description that I do, which looks more like this one. In fact, I don't even do that long. I usually try and keep it to a paragraph. So I think you can see how powerful this is, and it's not very expensive. Let's go and have a look. This is Pod Squeeze, by the way. So free, you get 50 minutes of podcast time each month. That probably wouldn't be enough for me. They save the generated content for 30 days, so you don't have to download it immediately. But you can get, for $12.94 a month, you can get 160 minutes of podcasting time and save generated content. I would not recommend you save the generated content on here, but if you don't get to download it straight away, at least you know it's going to be safe. Even the pro level, which is 320 minutes of podcast time a month, is very affordable, $23.34 a month. So I like that a lot. I think that's really very, very good, Pod Squeeze. Let's have a look at the other one. Now, this is podium.page. Funny old domain name that is. And I've uploaded the same episode, and it says that it's going to send an email to me containing the URL where I can download my assets once they're ready. So let's have a look at Podium and see if anything's in my inbox here from Podium. Let's get rid of this. Your files are ready. There they are. Well, God knows where they went. So go into my premium. Download your files. Okay, so I get transcripts, chapters, highlights, summary, package, and Podium GPT. What's that then? Create any kind of document for your episode by asking RAA to generate it for you using a prompt. Get ideas for future guests, advertisers, and topics. Now that is interesting. So you can put in, write a bulleted summary of the top 10 key points. Okay. Let's just try that. God knows how it's pulling in the AI. I mean, really, some of this stuff is so far beyond sci-fi. It's unreal, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look at extremely good and well written. Let's have a look at the pricing on this one. Free to start. You get 3 hours free on this one. You get to try it all out. If you need more than 3 hours a month, you can purchase a subscription plan. So this one is cheaper, but it's not so convenient because you have to wait for it to be emailed to you. And then you've got $16 a month, billed yearly or billed monthly. I like it when they do this because it gives you the chance to save some money if you want to. Or you can have 60 hours a month and slide to adjust. Okay. Fancy. Or you can have custom pricing and you can contact them and talk about what you need. So I don't like the interface on this one so much, but it's better value by the looks of it, because you get 3 free audio hours, which would probably cover my monthly output. So decide what you want. If you're a podcast owner, you know that you're not promoting your podcast as well as you should be. So I highly suggest you give these guys a go. Now, all of that said, I'm afraid that there is some bad news, because Italy is now blocking OpenAI ChatGPT over privacy violations. Not sure what's happened here. This literally only came out today. Let's go and have a look, shall we? Italy's data protection watchdog on Friday issued an immediate ban on access to OpenAI's popular intelligence chatbot, citing alleged privacy violations. Move that out of the way. Here we are. Temporary limitation on the processing of Italian user data vis-a-vis OpenAI. It failed to check the age of its users, as the software is only supposed to be used by people over the age of 13, 2 months after its launch. Yeah, it's never asked me my age, but you just assume that people and things know everything about you now. Could be useful for people involved in cyber crimes, as it's capable of dice code in a number of different programming language. Criminal actors with little to no knowledge of coding or development could be using it. Wow, there we go. I don't think this is going to last long, do you? I think they're going to just bring out some things that make the Italian government happy again. And it's just too useful to block it, I think. So, although, having said that, about 130 or over 1,000 people, including Elon Musk, have asked the ChatGPT people and the other AI tools to suspend development for 3 months while they work out whether it's going to get too clever too quickly and take over the world. And I'm not kidding about that either. So even our tech giants are concerned about what ChatGPT and AI could become. Anyway, in the meantime, use it to make your podcast a bit better and see how you like it. And then after that, if they do ban Chat AI, you can always get a real live human to do the same job for you. I hope you enjoyed that, and I really want you to know that you should be using it where you can at the moment. But as always, don't become too dependent on technology, because we need to remember how to be able to think, and we need to be able to remember how to write and do things for ourselves. That's my overall view on the whole thing. It's all very well using tools, but be prepared if those tools get taken away. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and I will see you very soon.